Have you ever witnessed someone unravel over something as small as a pin? In the quiet hum of a family-owned jewelry store, Karen stormed through the glass doors, her heels clicking like a ticking bomb. She clutched a tiny, shimmering peanut-delicate butterfly with emerald wings that she'd bought just days ago. Her face was a storm cloud, lips pursed, eyes blazing. "This cheap trash broke already," she bellowed, slamming the pin onto the counter. The store, usually a haven of soft music and gleaming displays, froze. Customers glanced up, sensing a scene about to erupt. Karen's voice cut through the air, accusing the shop of selling shoddy, overpriced garbage. But was the pin truly faulty, or was Karen hiding a truth that would soon unravel her? The young cashier, Mia, barely 20, stood behind the counter, her hands trembling but her voice steady. She'd seen her share of upset customers, but Karen was a force of nature. Mia gently picked up the pin, inspecting it under the light. The butterfly's wings were bent, one gemstone chipped, and the clasp mangled. Karen insisted she'd barely touched it and demanded a full refund, her voice rising with every word. "You people scam customers with this junk," she snapped, jabbing a finger at Mia. The accusation stung. This was no chain store. It was a family business built on decades of trust. Mia's father, Mr. Delgado, the store's owner, crafted each piece by hand, pouring his heart into every detail. The pin Karen held was one of his favorites, designed for his late wife. Mia knew it wasn't faulty when it left the shop. As Karen's tirade continued, Mia noticed something odd. The damage wasn't typical where it looked deliberate, as if someone had twisted the pin with pliers. She excused herself and called her father from the back. Mr. Delgado, a soft-spoken man with graying hair, emerged, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to Karen's fury. He listened patiently as Karen ranted, her story shifting slightly with each retelling. "I wore it once, and it just fell apart," she claimed, but her eyes darted away when Mr. Delgado asked to see the receipt. He gently took the pin, his fingers tracing the damage. "This doesn't look like our work," he said quietly. Karen scoffed, crossing her arms. "Are you calling me a liar?" The tension in the room thickened, customers now openly staring. Then came the twist no one expected. A teenage girl, no older than 16, stepped forward from the crowd. She'd been browsing nearby, her backpack slung over one shoulder. "I saw her," the girl said, her voice nervous but clear. "Yesterday at the coffee shop, she was showing off that pin to her friends. She dropped it on the floor, and when it didn't break, she got mad and stomped on it." The room gasped. Karen's face flushed crimson, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. The girl, Lily, wasn't just a random bystander. She was Mr. Delgado's niece, visiting for the summer. She hadn't meant to eavesdrop, but Karen's loud complaints had drawn her attention. Lily's words hung in the air, a quiet bombshell that shifted the narrative. Karen's bravado faltered, but she doubled down. "That's ridiculous. This kid's lying to protect your scam," she shouted, pointing at Lily. But the crowd wasn't buying it. Whispers rippled through the store, and Karen's confidence began to crack. Mr. Delgado, still calm, pulled out the store's security footage from the day Karen bought the pin. The grainy video showed her inspecting it closely, smiling as she paid. "No defects, no complaints." Then, he produced a photo from their records, showing the pin in pristine condition before it left the shop. The evidence was undeniable. Karen's story was falling apart, and she knew it. The confrontation reached its peak as Mr. Delgado spoke, his voice firm but kind. "Ma'am, we take pride in our work. This pin was perfect when you bought it. The damage you're showing us didn't happen here." He gestured to the counter, where the pin lay like a wounded bird. "We can't refund something you deliberately broke." Karen's eyes widened, her hands balling into fists. "You can't prove that," she spat, but her voice wavered. Mia stepped forward, her earlier nerves replaced by resolve. "We don't need to prove it," she said. "The truth is clear." She pointed to the crowd, where customers nodded in agreement, and to Lily, who stood her ground. Karen's rage boiled over, and in a moment of desperation, she swept her arm across the counter, knocking over a display of delicate pins. They clattered to the floor, some snapping under her reckless gesture. The crowd gasped again, and Karen's tantrum only sealed her fate. The store fell silent as Karen realized her mistake. The broken display, the scattered pin set was all her doing, and every eye in the room saw it. Mr. Delgado shook his head, not with anger, but with disappointment. "You've caused enough damage," he said. "Please leave." Karen opened her mouth to argue, but the weight of the crowd's stares silenced her. She grabbed her purse, muttering under her breath, and stormed out, the glass doors swinging shut behind her. The pin remained on the counter, a symbol of her unraveling. Mia and her father began picking up the scattered pieces, their hands steady despite the chaos. Lily joined them, her quiet courage a reminder that truth could come from unexpected places. In the aftermath, the store buzzed with a new energy. Customers approached Mr. Delgado, offering kind words about his craftsmanship. One woman bought a necklace, saying, "I trust a place that stands up for what's right." Mia smiled, her confidence growing. The pin, though damaged, was repaired by Mr. Delgado's skilled hands and later sold to a customer who cherished its story. The incident became a local legend, a cautionary tale about accountability. Karen's outburst had backfired, exposing her dishonesty and leaving her with nothing but her own regret. What would you have done in that moment? Stood up like Lily or stayed silent? Share your thoughts on where the line falls between holding your ground and letting karma take its course.